Greetings everyone, VesperAegis here. Here are a few news stories that have captured my attention over the past couple of days. An isolated Afghanistan is experiencing escalating hardships as millions of Afghans may starve this winter due to a severe food shortage. The education system cannot pay teachers because the banking system is frozen, and healthcare has also nearly collapsed due to a lack of international aid, which was keeping it going prior to this emerging crisis. Afghanistan remains heavily dependent on foreign aid. However, a number of nations have imposed sanctions due to the Taliban takeover over the summer of this year. According to U.S. Special Representative to Afghanistan Thomas West, however, the U.S. is, quote, not conditioning humanitarian assistance on anything that the Taliban moves forward with, unquote. They continue to move forward with $474 million in aid. Food prices continue to increase in Afghanistan as 22.8 million people will likely face serious food shortages this winter. The country is also dealing with one of the worst droughts it has been witness to in decades, so its produce will unlikely to be able to compensate for the shortage. A mere 1/8 of the total land area in Afghanistan is arable land. Adding to these problems is dislocation for many Afghans, as the Taliban rewards former fighters with land and property taken and redistributed. Property claims and rights are very informal in Afghanistan, adding to the tenuous nature of existence and subsistence for many Afghans. The back and forth takeovers of Afghanistan from the Taliban to the anti-Taliban forces over the years, each redistributing land in turn, has only made the situation of property uncertainty continue. Moreover, a decree was issued by the Taliban on December 3rd declaring that women must give consent to marry, and that they have the right to self-determination on the issue of marriage, even in cases of widowhood. However, observers are still concerned about the availability of jobs and education in Afghanistan for women as a much bigger problem to women's autonomy and independence. And in COVID news, a new lab experiment in South Africa published on Tuesday by Dr. Alex Segal and his team suggests that the Pfizer vaccine is less effective at preventing infections, though a booster may help. In addition, evidence indicates it is possible that Omicron may achieve more vaccine breakthroughs compared to previous mutations. The study suggests that antibodies from the Pfizer vaccine had 1/40th of the potency against other mutations. This seems to indicate that while breakthroughs may be much more likely with Omicron, given the holistic action of the immune system, hospitalization and death may still be kept at a minimum when fully vaccinated with a booster. Among the groups in the study, those who had previously been infected with COVID and then went on to get the Pfizer vaccine had better antibody responses against the variant. None of the subjects in the study had yet received boosters. Both Pfizer and Moderna have said that they will be able to make vaccines targeting Omicron specifically in around 3 months. As of this production, the Omicron variant has now been detected in nearly 20 states in the U.S. And in technology news, a famous British artificial intelligence research laboratory called DeepMind has released 3 new studies as well as a new take on language modeling called Retro. The traditional language modeling systems use neural networking on a massive scale, using hundreds of billions of parameters to predict and create accurate sentences in multiple languages. Until now, however, these could only be developed by enormous companies with large budgets like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Alibaba. Retro, on the other hand, uses an external database with around 2 trillion passages of text, offloading the requirements of the network but matching the performance of some of the biggest networks. The accuracy and results depended heavily on the subject type, performing well in the sciences and humanities, but falling below par on logical reasoning and mathematics. One potential benefit of this is that of making it easier for developers to look at exactly how neural networks are learning and deduce how to correct unforeseen problems and behaviors. I have to say, from my perspective as a writer and content creator, this technology leaves me just a bit concerned as these neural networks become more and more creative. One potential use for the tool would be to summarize very complex documents, for example, and AI continues to make headway in this space. Another concern is that because language encapsulates so much of what makes humans intelligent, research into language models may ultimately lead to artificial general intelligence itself, or the holy grail of AI. At any rate, in the near future, I think we'll be left with increasingly smaller niches of job opportunities as us mere mortals, even in the creative fields, but others say that we are still quite a ways off from having human-level, quote-unquote, common sense and reasoning as features of these networks. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read more. And in entertainment news, a nearly 3-minute Matrix Resurrections trailer was released on December 6th, showcasing a lot of action, but thankfully not too many plot revelations, which is a welcome change from the average movie trailer these days. The trailer is replete with action, but seemed pretty underwhelming to me at least, and as others have said, who exactly asked for a new Matrix movie anyway? I think I speak for at least a few others when I say I was perfectly happy to see the Matrix trilogy rest in peace. And on YouTube here, YongYea just published an interesting video about a high-level Sony Playstation engineer who was caught in a child predator sting operation by an independent organization called People vs. Preds. The operation was streamed online when it happened, and he was fired after working for the company for nearly a decade. I would recommend checking it out. It's pretty interesting, and I'll leave a link in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.